Are you a member of the Yellow Leaf Club? All I can say is I have yellow leaves all over my house. We're talking about all different types of plants: Philodendron, Hoya, Monstera. These are plants that are in different locations in my house, so different microclimates. You may be a member of the Yellow Leaf Club, my friend, but I am the president. Let's do this Casey Neistat style. We'll start with Philodendron Thai Sunrise. I haven't even told you all that I have this plant yet, and we're already on the Yellow Leaf Club list. Next, Hoya callistophylla. This one I'm really worried about. Philodendron birkin. Maranta leucanura. Kerchoviana. Oops, Kerchovi. That's probably it. Syngonium erythrophyllum. Yano. Carti. Road. That's a long one. Philodendron Florida Beauty. This is the other one that I'm really kind of worried about. And then Monstera standleyana. How about that for a list? As I'm looking around and seeing all these yellow leaves that displease me, I am reminded of the Seinfeld episode where Elaine throws George's hairpiece out.
I don't like this thing! And here's what I'm doing with it!
I don't like these yellow leaves, and this is what I'm gonna do about it. Philodendron Florida Beauty. The problem of this yellow leaf, which I could just peel off and it's no problem, but then if I start looking at the other leaves that are down here at the bottom and close by, I started seeing some maybe concerning things here. Can I get this to focus? I don't know. Are these a type of scale? It's so small. Let me see if I can zoom in even more. There we go. What do you think, friends? Is this scale? I think that it might be. Again, so that was this leaf. Now here on this leaf, I mean, what on earth am I looking at here? What is going on? And again, are these little dots here, are these a type of a scale? I'm thinking yes. It's clearly not healthy. Look all over, absolutely covered. So also I should tell you that this plant came with another plant from a vendor that I'm fairly confident shared some other bugs with my house to the tune of thrips, and what else did I have? I think it was just thrips. So I got this Florida Beauty at the same time that I got the other plant, which was a Philodendron Painted Lady. And I'm not going to say who the vendor was, but yeah. So this is about to get the chop. Whether this is scale or not, I'm almost 100% sure that it is. It's not one that I've ever seen before. So I'm going to carefully examine all the other leaves because we are going all the way up to the top here, and make sure that they're clean. I'm going to spray them down, treat them, and this bottom section is going straight in the trash. Here we go. All right, I've done it now. This is where my Philodendron Florida Beauty used to sit, and now it's not there anymore because these are just the cuttings that I have left from my Florida Beauty. I went completely chop happy. There's no water in here yet. I've made the cuttings. I'm letting them harden off for a few hours. And look at these big, beautiful leaves. Sorry, my dog is going nuts because there's a squirrel in the yard and she wants to go out and chase it. But anyway, it was so sad, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going for it. So I have, I don't know, 6 or 7 really lovely cuttings that I'm gonna try to root and water and then move that. Tilly, shush little dog. I'm gonna try and move those then to, I'm gonna try and move those into soil from that. And behind it, we have this pretty guy. So this is Philodendron Thai Sunrise. Look at the leaves. Oh, Tilly, I thought we were done. Hold on, I'm gonna let the dog outside so that she doesn't distract us anymore. So look at this leaf, just, oh, it's so beautiful. But we have a lot more of them that are like this, with the dark green and the kind of greenish gold stripe. So it's kind of a mix. I'm seeing a lot of these on Instagram coming from, people are finding them at Walmart, people are finding them at Lowe's, and a plant that used to be like super hard to find and expensive, and now you can get them for, I don't know, like 16 bucks or something like that. So this, I did take a cutting from right, is that gonna focus? Yeah, from right here, because it was all the way up and it was real lopsided looking, and I thought, well, we'll just try to make this really compact, or as compact as possible. It's a really beautiful plant. It's gonna take the place of my Philodendron Florida Beauty, at least until I have something else to put there, which I do have a new plant on the way I'm kind of excited about. This is not in the Yellow Leaf Club because of anything bad, but I just wanted to show you this beauty. I mean, I have big hands and look at this. It is just, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. It's such a beautiful philodendron. This is Philodendron Moonlight. Highly recommend if you are into philodendron. And I got this when it was just a tiny little bunch of tiny leaves and it just grew out. It's a beauty for sure. This is the Maranta I was talking about. I guess I didn't say on the paper when I was writing that it has a variegated section of it. Most of it is not variegated. It's just regular Maranta leucanura crachoviana. But this section is the one that has, I guess they're not even yellow, it's brown. And that's not an unusual thing when you're talking about all white or mostly white leaves. They will have necrosis. It's just, it happens. With especially really thin, which these leaves are just thinner than paper. They're so delicate. And it's gonna be almost impossible to keep the humidity and light levels at just the right place where they won't have this kind of damage. So this is not worrying. I can just simply cut off the brown parts and it won't look as bad. It's just looks. It's not anything more serious than that. But I do want to show you a couple of the green leaves that have some sunburn so you can see what that looks like. And I have one I can see right here. So these little dots, those are a little bit of sunburn. I have one here. Yeah. And what's happened here is this window is above my kitchen sink, and it actually is mostly north facing, but I've found that our house is not straight on northeast southwest, that we've got a curvature. And so in the late evenings when the sun is kind of slanted and angling in from the west, we do get some kind of intense rays of sun, and that can cause burns on leaves that don't really want direct sun, which I have it in a north facing window. You would think there would be no direct sun, but you would be wrong in this case. And then on that same shelf, just moving down, we have these yellowing or browning leaves. And again, this is a sunburn type issue. Here's a completely dried out dead leaf. And you can see where it had a lesion like this one from just way too much sun. I have several more back here, dry and crispy. And I could have pulled these off, but I left them so that you could see. And look how beautiful these leaves are. This one, I care about the burns a lot more than I do the Maranta. So this one I'm going to, I think I'm going to move it to a new location. And I'm going to do that and I'll show you where I've chosen. This shelf is above our bed and I have a ZZ Raven there and some tins that you get your fossil watches in case any of you are fossil people. I am a huge collector. And anyway, I love the tins, but I think this might be an okay spot to move my little Syngonium. Well, not really little. Did I call it little? I don't know. That's not really little, is it? I mean, it's taller because this is kind of a taller pot. It's one of the Lechuza self-watering planters. But man, it's a big, tall plant. I wanted to point out that I did leave these two, this and this leaf, those two leaves on because they haven't completely browned, and like as I pull gently on them, they're not wanting to part from the stem easily. So that means that my plant can still take back some of the energy from those leaves to use. It'll probably take it back down into the roots and use for the rest of the plant. So until those leaves are like easy to part from the stem, I'm gonna just leave them on there. And so now I actually have two CC Ravens. And so I have 3 black plants right in a row here. So I don't know, this might not be his forever home, and I'm also going to be watching just to see if this move is something that upsets him. And I was glad also that I was able to leave 3 of my fossil tins. I just had to get rid of the one. So we'll give her a try, see how it goes. This is my poor, sad Hoya callistophylla, or what's left of it. It used to be on this shelf right here, and I have a humidifier right next to the shelf, and the path of the humidity kind of just hit like right where this sad little Hoya was sitting. So the extent of the damage cannot be appreciated right now because all these leaves, okay, this is so strange. The end leaf is fine. And then all these leaf pairs, boom, boom, boom. And then there was one here, gone. This new stem, which was new growth, I don't think it has any life in it. These are growing off of a different direction. So this stem kind of came off of this. And so these seem to be holding on intact and everything. And then, like I said, the one last end leaf down here, I think it was like a bacterial, look at the leaf, something bacterial or fungal. Nothing good, my friends, nothing good. Especially considering that this is literally, or was, one of my favorite Hoya. I mean, the leaves, they're fantastic. The coloring, please ignore this. I did spray the leaves with a hydrogen peroxide solution to try and put a stop to whatever was happening fungus-wise. And I don't know, I don't think it helped at all, but maybe it saved this section of the plant. Maybe those are next and they'll just keep dying until I have nothing but a bunch of yellow leaves and sticks. So really sad, really upsetting. just note to self, watch where your daggone humidity is hitting, because it completely took out this plant. And all my other plants have been completely happy, no signs of distress or anything, but it ruined me so badly that I have not run this humidifier for days. It's been days where I just haven't even had it running. I need to get it going because all my other Hoya really want it. I have a humongous Hoya linearis. I mean, it goes clear down, all the way down to almost the floor. And I have other Hoyas that are trying to bloom and, trying to be happy. So I've got to get the humidifier going again. It just really, it scared me a lot, folks. What else can I say? It scared me a lot. So that's my poor baby. Like I said, we've lost all these leaves. This one is still holding on, but it's about to go. I may just chop right here. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. I mean, I do still have this leaf living. If it turns yellow and dies, then I will for sure make a cut like right here. And if it stays green, I think I'll leave it on and just see what happens. I mean, feel free to share your advice if you're good at growing this Hoya, please, because, or better yet, if you're good at saving Hoyas that have been really badly damaged, because that's what I did to this poor precious baby. Such a sad story. I know that there's some reflecting off the glass and all that kind of stuff happening, but I'm just going to show you my birkin and what I've done to it. So in a previous video, and I can't remember which, it's just a video or two back, I had a yellow leaf happening, and it wasn't like at the very bottom of the plant, and that's what kind of concerned me. So this cabinet is right next to a window, and the window actually is east facing, and so can get some kind of bright sun coming in, and I'm wondering if I had some sunburn leaves, because I ended up losing, I think, between 3 or 4 leaves. I kind of lost count there. And it may have been that, because I took this one out, I checked the roots, we didn't have any root rot. I just don't know what happened there. So I am hoping, it did start kind of growing crooked, even though I had been turning it. So I did put some little bamboo posts in there and tied up each of the plants. There are 2, actually. There's a wee baby and then a bigger one in the back. And that's all for Philodendron birkin. So far, it's been several more days since I've pulled off those leaves. We haven't had any problems. I haven't had any yellow leaves, so I'm hoping that maybe it was just a sunlight issue. Oh, it did used to be like right on the very edge, like all the way right over there against the glass, and I've scooted it this way forward and away from that edge in the hopes that would keep the too much direct sun from harming the leaves, if that's what it was. And in the same cabinet, we have the very last contestant for our yellow leaf club. And these are brown. This is necrosis on my Monstera, standleyana. Again, I forgot to say it's variegata. As you can see, we went all white. Let me open the door and we'll get in a little closer. So what happened is, as this plant grew up closer and closer to the grow light that is up above it, the leaves just went from almost all green with just some speckling to almost all white to completely white, which are up here. And it has since turned, so I'm going to be able to stake this, and I'd like to just have it loop around and around. And I'm hoping that we'll get some green back in the leaves, because chances are very good that all of these mostly white and all white leaves will be lost. They will just, I mean, they're not helping the plant by contributing any kind of photosynthesis. So the plant will do the work for us. It'll just kill those leaves off a little at a time. So partially my fault because I just let it go as it was getting up close to the light, and maybe I should have tried to either cut it or put some kind of a trellising on there that would cause it to move back away from the light. But instead, I think I'm just going to let the plant work it out itself. When these leaves go completely brown, which is not pretty to have in here, but when they do that, I will just cut them off. And I am planning on putting some bamboo in here probably too, like the TV aerials, and then just have it keep going in circles around and around. So there she is. She's a pretty one, isn't she? I love this plant. I really, really love it.